I grew up on the outskirts of London, in a quiet neighborhood that always felt safe. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone else, where children played in the streets until dusk, and where the most exciting thing that ever happened was the annual fair. My girlfriend Emily lived just a few streets over. She was a year older than me, and that extra year often felt like a chasm of wisdom and experience. We were inseparable, spending our weekends exploring the city, making the long subway ride into central London feel like an adventure. It was 5 years ago, on a crisp autumn evening, that our lives changed forever. We had planned to catch a late-night horror film in the West End, a tradition for us every Halloween. We were both horror enthusiasts, thriving on the adrenaline rush that came with being scared out of our wits. Little did we know that night, the real terror awaited us, not on the screen, but in the shadowed depths of the London Underground. We boarded the train at our usual stop, laughing and chatting about school, friends, and the latest gossip. The subway car was nearly empty, just a few scattered passengers absorbed in their own worlds. As the train rattled and swayed, I noticed a man sitting a few seats down, his eyes fixed intently on us. He was dressed in a shabby overcoat, a beanie pulled low over his forehead, casting his face in shadow. His eyes were dark and penetrating, following our every move. "Do you see that guy?" I whispered to Emily, nudging her gently. She glanced over, her eyes narrowing. "Yeah, he's giving me the creeps. Let's move to another car at the next stop." We made our way to the adjoining car as soon as the train halted, hoping to shake off the uneasy feeling that had settled over us. But as the train sped off again, I saw him through the connecting door, standing up and slowly making his way toward us. The fluorescent lights flickered above, casting eerie shadows that danced along the walls. "He's following us," Emily said, her voice tinged with fear. "We need to get off at the next station." Panic started to rise within me, the once familiar and comforting subway now feeling like a labyrinth of impending doom. The train screeched to a stop, and we bolted out onto the platform, the oppressive silence of the empty station amplifying our dread. We heard the man's heavy footsteps echoing behind us, quickening as he realized we were trying to escape. "Run!" Emily grabbed my hand, and we sprinted down the dimly lit corridor, our footsteps pounding in unison. We darted around a corner, hoping to lose him in the maze of tunnels, but no matter how fast we ran, his presence seemed to loom ever closer, like a shadow we couldn't shake. We found ourselves in a deserted section of the station, the air thick with the smell of damp and decay. The lights here were dimmer, casting long, sinister shadows. I could hear my own heartbeat thudding in my ears, my breath coming in ragged gasps. Emily squeezed my hand, her face pale and eyes wide with terror. "This way," she whispered, pulling me toward a maintenance door. We slipped inside, closing it softly behind us. The room was small and cluttered with old equipment, offering scant hiding places. We crouched behind a stack of crates, holding our breath, straining to hear any sound over the deafening silence. Minutes stretched into an eternity, the darkness pressing in on us from all sides. Just when I thought we might be safe, the door creaked open, and the dim light from the corridor spilled into the room. I could see the silhouette of the man standing in the doorway, his breath ragged and labored. "I know you're in here," he crooned, his voice a sinister sing-song. "You can't hide forever." Emily clutched my hand tighter, her nails digging into my skin. We stayed perfectly still, praying he wouldn't find us. But the creaking of the floorboards grew louder as he stepped into the room, his shadow falling over our hiding spot. In a sudden, desperate move, Emily grabbed an old wrench from the floor and lunged at him, striking him across the head. He stumbled back, a guttural cry escaping his lips. We didn't wait to see if he would get up. We ran, our legs fueled by pure adrenaline. We burst out of the maintenance room and back onto the platform, just as a train was pulling in. We jumped on, the doors closing behind us, leaving the man screaming in frustration on the platform. We reported the incident to the police, but they never found him. For weeks, I was plagued by nightmares, waking in a cold sweat, hearing his voice in my dreams. Emily and I never took the subway again after dark, and our carefree adventures turned into cautious, calculated outings. To this day, I can't ride the subway without feeling a prickle of fear on the back of my neck. And sometimes when the lights flicker and the shadows stretch long and dark, I swear I can still see his eyes watching me from the darkness.